Well, Hoosier serial entrepreneur Dr. Don Brown believes his next venture will lead the charge in revolutionizing the practice of medicine. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta here now with more. Kylie.
That's right, Gary. Dr. Brown says he's letting doctors kick the tires and test out his latest software venture called Bioscope AI. A quick refresher on Dr. Brown. He's an MD, an IU School of Medicine grad turned tech entrepreneur, founding 3 software companies in Indiana, including Interactive Intelligence, which sold for $1.4 billion. His latest software venture, Carmel-based Bioscope AI, is harnessing the power of AI for primary care physicians. With a simple cheek swab, Bioscope AI analyzes a person's entire genome, microbiome, which are the genetics of the gut bacteria, and other inputs to give doctors the power of big data with an AI virtual assistant to make sense of it.
It's a gold rush out there. All sorts of companies are trying to apply AI to healthcare, but so far, what they've been trying to do is really apply it to the medical record. So trying to use AI to help doctors understand the medical record of a person, and which is great, that's very helpful. But where we seem to have stolen the march, this little Indiana company, we are so far, knock on wood, the only ones taking that approach of applying AI, not just to the medical record, but to the genome, the microbiome, the proteome, and there are others of these big data sets.
Now, Bioscope AI is first targeting concierge primary care doctors, in which patients typically pay the doctor directly, usually a subscription fee that can range from a few $1,000s to $100,000 per year. A Fishers-based startup, Arrive AI and Hancock Health, are the first in the world to roll out a high-tech delivery method inside a hospital. Hancock Regional Hospital says it's saving a nurse nearly 2 hours per day in walking lab samples or medications back and forth. Arrive AI teamed up with California-based Autonomy for the delivery robot. While these robots at hospitals aren't new, they typically require a human to load or unload them. But the Hancock Regional robot is using Arrive AI's smart mailboxes instead. In this case, temperature-controlled lockers. The company says it's the world's first handoff between robots and mailboxes, no human required. Arrive AI, which went public earlier this year, says launching the system with a local hospital makes good business sense.
It means everything. First of all, we want to develop nearby, right? It's always less expensive nearby. So that's really important to be able to have the bandwidth and dedicate the resources that we want to have for this use case is huge. And we love Hancock Health.
This opens all kinds of doors. You can imagine that we're starting just with one route, but we've already been talking today about the other dozens of routes that we could have, and let alone when we think about taking this outside the walls of the hospital, because we have campuses all over this county. How we could make things change is just immeasurable.
So they could be adding more routes, also indoors, but also outdoors. They're looking at even expanding deliveries outside the hospital.
Arrive AI continues to evolve. Back to Dr. Don Brown,
Yes.
and what an amazing entrepreneur he is. How are doctors testing the technology?
So right now, doctors are running the technology on themselves just to get a feel for it. And one feature of this software is the patient dashboard. Now, this actually has a pretty cool backstory because Dr. Brown, in his 50s, decided to get his pilot's license just for the fun of it. And when he was flying these high-performance jets, they have these fancy displays. And here's how that inspired part of his technology.
On the display, you see a representation of the plane and all its systems, hydraulics, fuel, engine. And what we're trying to do is give that sort of display to a doctor for a patient. And instead of hydraulics and fuel, what you have is a cardiovascular system or a neurocognitive system, brain.
So looking at the body also like a high-performance machine.
Amazing technology. Yep. Thanks as always, Kyle.
Yes.